Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GSTZen's webinar. We have few more participants joining, so we'll be starting in few minutes.
Our sister, can you hear me?
So we can start, sir.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And good afternoon and welcome. It's been pleasure to interact with you all virtually, and welcome to GSTZen knowledge learning session. Today we are talking about the tribunal rules that have come, trying to give a practical guide for the professionals. So, and the officers, tax compliance officers in the corporate, just being aware of the procedural rules. Let me share my screen. All right. Sister, screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Perfect. So, firstly, let me just introduce myself and GSTZen. I am Venugopal Gela, practicing chartered accountant since 2002. I've been in the field of indirect tax and also technology providing fintech solutions. GSTZen is GSP and an ASP. And for most of you who do not know what this terminology means, it is GST Suvidha Provider. So helps corporates, tax practitioners to file the returns to the GST common portal, even without touching the common portal. It's like, we all know, if you have to reach one place and if there is only one road to reach that, that would be choked, busy. But if there are multiple routes that are available, it's people can easily choose, navigate, travel. Like that, GST portal has introduced the GSPs, and there are ASP who are application service providers who provide software over using the network of GSP. So GSTZen is a GSP and an ASP. More so, GSTZen is in the profession of serving clients, business of filing returns, reconciliations, providing API services, integrating the ERPs and various things. Most talked about featured or product of GSTZen is consolidated return filing document, where on a single click, the entire management or the professional who is in charge of the GST number gets a view. 24/7, we commonly talk like that. The complete view of the GST returns. What is that? What did I file on GSTR1? What's the liability offered in 3B? What's the credit available in 2A and 2B? How much is it reconciled with the books? And what did I take it in 3B? It's like complete view of it, the 360-degree view of it. On a click of a button, all 12 months. You will also get a detailed note and the summary note. Much talked about report. And most customers are happy for having the reports in Excel, because we finance professionals, we always love to use Excel. You will actually find the customers of GSTZen being a listed entity to mom and pop store. So that's a little bit about GSTZen. And to introduce the team, today along with me, Manisha, who would be actually walking us through the litigation management in the GSTZen. How would the session be today? We would be talking about appeal related provisions, little basics of appellate tribunal constitution of it, and powers and jurisdictions of the appeal hearings. More detail, we'll talk on appellate procedures. Roughly my session would be till 3:30, 3:40. But what is the important part of the session today is how will one handle this maze of notices that are coming? How will one handle it? When I say handle, what do I mean by that? I don't want to log into the government portal every time. Like I'm a CFO, there are 20 group entities I'm handling. I'm a chartered accountant practicing handling 10 different clients. I am an individual company, but I have offices in 3 states handling 3 GST numbers. So you don't need to log into government portal each of it and get to know a notice that has been come or not. How that can be simplified, Manisha is going to explain to us. Well, I got the notice, but how do I know more about it? Who has issued the notice? Why did they issue the notice? What's the next step I need to do? What are the chances of me winning the case? How do I draft a reply to it? Can the tools be available to assist? GSTZen has a beautiful agent which is going to help you to interact with your own notice. That's what Manisha is going to actually walk us through. So the important part of today's session is actually going to happen around 3:40 to 4 o'clock. This is the tribunal rules which have just come. So actual implementation there could be a little different as we come closer to the GSTAT website being launched and the tribunal being ready. We will come back again, discuss once again. But today we thought it's as a knowledge sharing endeavor, we give a view of what the tribunal rules are. Let's start with understanding the basics of an appeal. Firstly, adjudication is the foundation of the appeal. What do I mean by that? You have ASMT 10. That's not a notice. Section 65. That's not a notice. ADT 01. Section 67. Inspection. 6701, 672, INS 1, 2. That's not a notice. That's the beginning of the journey of the litigation. In response to that, you may reply ASMT 11 or you will get ADT 02 as observations, various things. Submit the documents. Someone will adjudicate for you and they decide on your behalf. Your proper officer is going to decide on your behalf and issue an order. The show cause notice is only asking you show a cause why so and so tax cannot be demanded. But the order is an affirmative confirmation statement which states that you are liable to pay so and so. So the adjudication is the beginning and appeal is the continuation of this adjudication process. Why do I say continuation? Because you go to first appeal, they also hear, they adjudicate and they give an order. You go to the next. So the appeal is continuation of this adjudication process. It's not that one died and second has arisen, right? It's essential that you handle the case properly at adjudication level. The first level, you submit all the information. Your right to submit the additional information will keep dying as you go to the higher and higher level. In fact, if the notice has been acted upon, without objecting. Section 160, very important section. I would refer everyone to read 160 subsection 1 and 160 subsection 2, which is your right to refuse, say, acting upon an illegitimate document. It is your right to make a document as non-est. So once you have acted upon an ineligible document, you are making an invalid proceedings valid. So if you have an act book with you, I would refer to draw your attention to section 160. If you see 160 subsection 2, the service of any notice or communication shall not be called in a question if the notice has already been acted upon. You acted upon it, and you cannot say that, okay, fine. After traveling, after 4 hearings, you cannot say, hey, looks like the officer who has originally issued the notice himself do not have a jurisdiction. Given that the original was wrong, I will stop it. You cannot say that. Yeah. And I would want all of you to always consider while making your reply to bring all your facts, evidences at the first stage. Legal arguments can be developed as the appellate authority permits, but get all your facts right and be made available. I have divided the litigation process into 2 categories. One, a normal course, which not involved in the place of supply. Place of supply is very crucial and critical to the GST, the core of the GST, like the heart of the GST. Why do I say that? We are in a federal system. Though it is one nation, one tax, the GST which is collected goes to the state. Now, to which state the revenue has to go is determined by the place of supply. If the place of supply is Maharashtra, the revenue goes, the collection goes to state of Maharashtra. So it's very important, the place of supply decision being judged unbiased. And government clearly knows that the officers are the one who are sitting on the table and they would be biased. The officer of Karnataka would say, hey, yes, place of supply belongs to Karnataka. So if the issue is not involving place of supply, the first adjudication would be done by assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, superintendent up to a limit of 10 lakhs. Then the order would be passed. Basis the order, if it is an AC order, you will go in front of JC appeals. If the JC order, you will go in front of the commissioner appeals. Section 107. So the order has been issued, demand has been created either under section 73 or 74. The appeal against which you are making under section 107, we call it as first appeal, either before the joint commissioner appeals or commissioner appeals, depending upon who issued the order. You are not happy with the order, you will go to the tribunal. After the tribunal, the next appeal, the third appeal goes to High Court. The fourth appeal goes to Supreme Court. So the orders are before the various people. So the first appeal, section 107, appellate tribunal, section 112, High Court and Supreme Court, section 117 and 118 respectively. Right? So you will have this procedure. This is where place of supply is not involved. While if the matter has a place of supply, you do not have the tribunal. The tribunal will be national tribunal. It will be a national tribunal against the first appeal. So till first appeal, it is same. The second appeal is going to the tribunal and the matter will directly jump to third appeal, goes to the Supreme Court. The appeal against the national tribunal lies before Supreme Court. It is not the High Court. So this is a litigation process if the matter issued, a matter is involving place of supply, so that there is no bias that is created against any specific state. Let me bring some points. So first appeal, section 107. it is an appeal, a right to appeal against any decision someone has decided or any order. Both are two different things. Someone choose to block your input tax credit register. Someone choose to cancel your registration. Even they are the decisions taken. So it's a first appeal that would happen. And the appeal must be filed within 3 months. And there is generally no condonation of thing. Of course, if you have a reason to believe, you can get a 30 days extension. But they should be from the date of the communication that is being received. Let's say the order has been passed on 1st January, but you have received only on 15th January. The 3 months date would start from 15th January. It cannot be from 1st January because you have to interact with the professional, you have to interact with the legal counsel, you have to assess the pros and cons of going to an appeal, choosing not to go to appeal. Sometimes you choose not to go to an appeal. It doesn't mean that you are agreeing to the facts of the case. You find the cost of litigation might be a little higher, better to comply, right? That's on first appeal. The second appeal, GST Appellate Tribunal, which is we are going to discuss today, is section 112. That is governing the appeal against the orders which have been passed under section 107 or 108. The revision authority is something that you have to look out for. Whenever you get an order against your DRC 07, a favorable one, that's not the time, real time to celebrate. If the department feels the Joint Commissioner Appeals have not done a good job and the order passed is not considering all the aspects, the department may revise its own orders. That is called revision authority. So even if there is a revision authority, the thing you will again go to the tribunal. Time limit is again 3 months from the date of receipt of the order. Some of the points on the appeal you should know. The order would become final if you're not appealing. They have given 3 months time. Within the 3 months, if you're not doing it, the order would become final. Second, if you are making an appeal, right, and the appeal has prescribed format, you got to follow the prescribed format. The appeal has the pre-deposit. You have to also follow the pre-deposit. There is no power to condone either the delays or the formats. It has to be in the specific manner. And mere filing of the appeal doesn't mean is like appeal will get admitted. If the appeal has been admitted, let's say whether in a high court, Supreme Court, and they give an order to the other party saying that, okay, let's say a high court order has come on so and so matter, like Prahati Construction Development Rights, Hyderabad High Court has held valid. Now, the SSC was not happy, went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has admitted the matter and stayed the proceedings and called the other side, which is the department, to give the explanation. It doesn't mean that your liability is gone off. Unless stayed, reversed, anything done in the appeal, the liability would continue. So you also have to pray for that. And there is a concept of non-order non-est. It means the order is null and void, has no legal existence. It means as if the order has never been passed. And when it will be, it is like gross violation of natural justice. You haven't even been called for. There's like they just passed the order without giving a hearing of the thing. Or like say superintendent power is 10 lakhs. He is signing an order for 1 crore. Right. So certain things when happen, these would be called non-est. You should be available. You should know about it. And the order will not be final if the matter is remanded. So let's say the tribunal feels it merit. I'll take a classic case. Tribunal is not formed. I have been slapped and demand of 3 crores. I went to Commissioner Appeals. Commissioner Appeals have heard all the points. He didn't write anything. He said, yeah, whatever has been done by the officer is proper, officer is right, I'm upholding. Now tribunal is not formed, so I'm going to High Court. Now High Court says that yes, this matter has not been heard. I have gone through the order passed by the Commissioner of Appeals. There is no reasoning in the order why the tax needs to be paid. The section which has been quoted, a justification of why that section is applicable, nothing has been quoted. Let the matter be assessed back. We call this as remanding of the matter. So the matter from the High Court again jumps back into the Commissioner. The moment it happens, the original order is done, kind of set aside. Commissioner has to revisit and give the order again, right? So the order will not be final if the matter has been remanded. These are the key points that you need to be aware while you are preparing your appeals. And there is another concept called department appeal. Like you are filing an appeal, even department can file an appeal or make a cross objections. Now, when the department is filing an appeal, when will they do? When the jurisdiction officer has felt that the order is not right, so then there would be authorization by the commissioner saying that okay, fine, you're not happy with the order passed by the commissioner, you can go on the appeal. So the appeal can also be by the department. Like how revision, there is an appeal can happen by the department. And the time limit for the department appeal, like how I said under section 107, the appeal by the SSC is 3 months. Here, the appeal to the department time limit is 6 months. Now, this is a little extra time they have got, thinking the speed at which they will do. And the cross objections can also be filed, so within 45 days. And the grounds on which the appeal is filed. So appeal can be filed on all the grounds decided for the SSC or against the SSC, or it could be selective basis the financial impact. Yeah. So it's an internal review. Now, the defense or the reply against the appeal also has to be filed. Just because department has gone for an appeal, it doesn't mean that okay, their order is now going towards them. SSC can file a counter reply or written statement. Because department file a reply, the opportunity has to be given the SSC. SSC can also do it, right? Now there could be findings against, but relief could be given on other grounds. I am saying that when you're filing your reply, there is a merits and the technical submissions, right? So there are sometimes the findings could be against, and the relief could have also been sought on other grounds. Yeah. So you got to be aware of these words. Fees, I'll come and we have discussed on the appellate structure. The constitution of the benches, there would be a principal bench will be sitting at the New Delhi, president, judicial member. There's a technical member state in the center. The state benches will have 2 judicial members. The technical member will be again one from center, one from state. Now, if there are no appellate tribunals, that means that my case is not gone off. Merely the tribunal is not formed. It can't be the liability. I have to pay it. I will wait for the tribunal. I will pay a pre-deposit. If the member is not available, he is vacant, it doesn't mean that the appellate tribunal is not functioning, right? These things will happen. What are the procedures? We have forms. While filing your first appeal, you will have APL 01, 02, 03, 04. While filing the department appeal, department also have the 05, 07. So there are respective forms. When it comes to the tribunal, there is a tribunal limit. Yeah, by the way, one other point you should know, for the departmental appeals, they cannot go to the tribunal unless otherwise the liability is beyond 20 lakhs. So if the liability is beyond 20 lakhs, then only they can go to the tribunal. But the exception they have is if it is on a constitutional validity or an order which has been passed, and it would be likely that it is going to impact a huge higher amount for other cases and other things. If it has recurring and interpretational issues on valuation, classification, refunds, etc. So these matters, the monetary limit wouldn't be applicable. What's the appeal filing procedures? What is general filing, the procedures we call institution of appeals? The chapter 3, rule 18 to 38 of the GST rules talks about it. Firstly, the appeal you are filing to the tribunal, it has 8001. It should contain all the statement of the facts, grounds of the appeal, the amount which is admitted, disputed, all those things have to be there. One minute, sorry. Yeah. So the appeal format should have who is filing an appeal, what is the statement of the fact, grounds of appeal, and the amount admitted, disputed should be there. Then this would be verified by the registrar. There's a registrar who will check if the appeal is in order or not. If it is found defective, they will issue another form 8003. The appeal gets numbered and registered upon compliance. So the person who is filing an appeal, he has to rectify the defects within 15 days. And 8004, appellate tribunal form 04, he will be filing. And if it is not filed, then the appeal would be deemed as invalid. After the appeal being admitted, for the cross objection, like if the department filed an appeal, I will be intimated. If I have filed an appeal, department would be independent. So the respondent can file a cross objection in 8005. And this would be verified by the registrar again. Within 45 days of the intimation, the cross objection should be filed. Then a notice would be served by the registrar when the time of reply, hearing, all those things would be done. There is a concept of paper book. Every party who is filing an appeal should submit a paper book. It would contain the details of the facts that you have relied upon, the cases that you have relied upon. All the large volume of documents would be there in the paper book. This has to be verified and signed by the authorized representative. So rule 26 who says who is the one who have to sign, it has to go. Yeah. After that, the next chapters discuss on adjournment, hearing, all those things. This is a format that has been prescribed. The filing has to happen in that format. This is what we have discussed. Then comes the pre-deposit. So there is a pre-deposit that needs to be paid. First appeal, section 107, a matter can be appealed only when the SSE makes 100% of the tax, interest, penalty, whichever the SSE says that I am agreeing to so and so liability. Whatever the liability he is not agreeing to, it would be 10% of the disputed amount. So the 10% of the disputed amount. In case if it's a penalty only order, the 10% of the penalty. 100% of the admitted tax, 10% of the disputed tax. Circular 224 has given a clarification. How do you link the payments? The DRC03 payments are always hanging, like you don't know what happened, the payments that you did through DRC03. If something which is not attached against a liability, then this DRC03 can be used as a pre-deposit. So the department has issued a form DRC03A, which is more like linking of a liability against the pre-deposit. Yeah. And you will be taking an undertaking that this DRC03 has not used elsewhere. If the case comes in your favor, there would be a refund of the pre-deposit along with the interest. Once you file the appeal, the hearing will happen. It could be a hybrid mode. You can request in person or virtual. And the appeal to be decided within 1 year from the filing of application as possible. There is no time limit. How you have a time limit of 3 years, 5 years under 73, 74, or 3 months, 6 months before the due date to issue the notice? Once the matter is set into motion of the appeal, there is no time limit. You can't say that my appeal matter has been heard 1 year after I filed the appeal, I forgot the case, so I would treat this appeal order as null and void. No. So it is recommended that they do within 1 year, but it can happen anytime. Yeah. So the adjournment, the date on which you have been called, you are not available, you can seek for an adjournment. Section 75 of the Act gives certain guidance of how do we deal with these things. So you can take an adjournment maximum up to 3 times. So 3 times you can say, I am not well, my auditor who is appearing the case is not available, you can take 3 times adjournment. Who will appear? In case of a company, either can be a regular employee or advocate who is entitled to practice, the chartered accountant who is entitled to practice, a retired tax officer or GST practitioner, right? They can do it. They can appear. Dress code for legal practitioners as per Bar Council rules. For the chartered accountants, it is a formal attire. So you've got to be formally dressed with this shoe. Maintain a decorum. You cannot have any interruptions while the matter is being heard. You cannot raise a voice. You cannot disrespect them. You cannot nudge. And this would be treated as a serious misconduct, and it could lead to a warning or debarring you for appearing again. So this is an important thing that you should be aware. The decorum needs to be maintained. This is given in the rules that this is how it has to be done. I would request people to refer to the miscellaneous rules, the GST procedure rules, which have clearly discussed about all the decorum and everything. Very important, which has to be looked into. Yeah. The tribunal order, the final order discussed under Rule 113. Ex parte order is Rule 42. There are 124 rules. These are the important things those who are into practice should be knowing. Totally 11 chapters and 124 rules. It would take 2-3 hours. It's easy to read. Better read it. Yeah. When I talked about dress code, it was there in the miscellaneous provisions. So one has to look at the miscellaneous procedures about it. What can tribunal do? It can confirm the order. It can modify the order. It can annul the order, or it can remand back saying that do a fresh adjudication. The commissioner appeals under 107 has no powers to remand back. He has to gather the additional facts and make an assessment. But the tribunal has the power for making a fresh adjudication, right? That is possible. I have also given the index of all these chapters and the rules. The copy of this presentation would be shared for your reference. So all the 15 chapters until rule number 124, what this rule is, what is the chapter title, the rule number, and the purpose and the description, I have given it for your easy reference. And the forms that are applicable is also given. Registers which the GST Appellate Tribunal maintains internally is also given for reference. This presentation would be shared for you. What I'll take is some of the questions that you have. I will look into the questions that you have. You can put your questions in the chat. At the end, we will give you an opportunity to unmute yourself and talk. As I am going through the questions, I would request Manisha to share her screen and explain about how GSTZen can help the tax practitioners, corporates in simplifying their litigation practice. Manisha, over to you.
Yes, sir. I'm just sharing my. Please confirm if you're able to see. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes.
So hi, good afternoon, everybody. So today I'll be explaining you that how you can track your notices through GSTZen and how you can make it simplify in terms of like replying and everything through GSTZen. So when you log into any of the GSTZen account, this is the dashboard what you will get. If you want to add one GST number or multiple GST number, you can do the same here. And this is how it will reflect. This is the tab which you can use to add the GST number. As you can see here, you can add one single GST number or if you want to add multiple GST numbers, you can do the same under the same screen. Let me just choose one of the GST number using which I'll be explaining you that how you can track your notices. So once you search a GST number, this is the tab which you can use, view notices. Also, if you click on the GSTN, it will give you a detailed page of this GST number where you get more options for this particular GST number, which you can perform through GSTZen. So here we have a download a report, reconciliation, file GST return. Under this download option, you can have multiple reports yearly as well as on the monthly basis. You can have GSTR1, 3B, e-wibble report, compliance report. All such reports are available in GSTZen. With this reconciliation, we have purchase register versus GSTR2A, purchase register versus GSTR2B, sales register versus GSTR1, sales register versus GSTR1 e-invoices. So you can do the reconciliation through GSTZen in Excel sheet with no time. Then in the return filing, you can file your return using GSTZen for GSTR1, 1A, 3B, and annual returns 9 and 9C. Moving to the notice management. So on the right hand side of your screen under this boxes, you will get a tab notice management. So once you click on it, it will take you to the descriptive page of this feature, where in the first hand on the right hand side, it will ask you to log in so that you can sync GSTZen with the government portal to fetch all the notices directly into the screen. So here, also this notice management and the notice tracking, all that happens with the username and password. So I'll just simply log in. So once I log in, this login tab turns into this refresh notices. And the moment I click it, it will start like fetching the notices from the government portal and give you all the details on the left hand side of your screen. So meanwhile, this syncing is happening. Let me just quickly talk about this calendar format, what we are showing on the screen for your for the ease so that you can track all the notices. You can see that on 3rd of May, there was a notice. Similarly, you can check for other months and for the future months as well. You can have this monthly view as well as the weekly view. So this is for the convenience where this calendar is there and you can track all the notices easily. So this sync will take like 1 to 2 minutes to fetch all the details. Meanwhile, we have bifurcated all our notices into some different heads like demands, notices, orders, applications, intimations, and replies. If I talk specifically for like, let's talk about these notices. So under this notices, we have different, like another bifurcation that is notices and additional notices. So in this additional notice, like if I talk about this, so it will give you the type of like little heading, status, reference number, like a quick summary which you can refer for all the notices. And if you want to see all the details, the explained version or the detailed version, you will click on this view tab. Here again, you will get a quick summary and you can change the status from here. Let's suppose I want, although it's resolved, let me just take an example of another one. So yeah, if I want to access this unread message and I want to change the status of it, I can just simply change the status from here. Let's suppose I put it as acknowledged. So it will just update the status. And if I go back to the screen, it is, let me just refresh. So now here the status is updated. let me just talk about all the tabs and the features available for a particular notice to work upon. Let's suppose if I want to work for this particular notice, I'll just click on that view tab. It will give me a quick summary. Here, if I want to check the actual notice, whatever I have received, I can click on this download PDF and it will show me the exact notice which is there for this particular GST number. Let's suppose I just opened it and came back to the previous screen. So of course you won't be able to get it that what exactly this notice is about. So here we have the summarize tab, which you can use and get to know quickly that exactly what that notice is about. So here it will give you a summary in short so that it's easy to understand that what exactly this notice is all about. Of course, you can copy from here, and if you want to discuss it with someone, you can share directly from here. Post the summarize. If you are new to the system and you're not aware that how to reply to these notices, so we have another tab that is generate reply. So once you click on it, it will help you to create a reply. Like it will give you some guidance that how you can create your reply for a particular notice. So that's how it will show you that you can keep the subject like this, and this is for this reference. This is for particular reference number, and this is how you can form a reply and reply on the portal. Now we have another tab that is ask about the notice. So this is a tab where you can have a real-time interaction with the system. You can ask your question related to this particular notice. Let's suppose I got the notice summary, I got the reply, but I'm still not sure what should I do. So maybe I can ask a question, what should I do next? So it will give me a real-time answer suggesting me a few things. Of course, it won't, remove the purpose or defeat the purpose of having a professional guidance with us. But of course, it will assist you in the first instance to understand what you're supposed to do in case you're not getting the professional assistance in the first hand. So you can just check, you can have a chit chat with this Zen GPT, and it will guide you that what can be the first step to do with this particular notice. You can ask further questions like if I want to check under which particular section does this notice falls. It will tell me that also that this particular notice is for this particular section, so that I can just maybe I can ask Zen GPT only to give me the details for this particular section so that I can check about it. So that's how you can use this Zen GPT thing for this initial conversation and to understand that how you can go about it. So this is similarly, as I discussed with this notices, the same thing is there for orders, application, intimation. So different sections are there. You can check about it. This is what I have explained just now is at the GSTN level. So we have another feature where you can fetch all the information, whatever is there on the government portal for multiple GSTNs in one go. For the same, we have an option at the top here that is autopilot. So when I click on it, it will give me an option to choose. So as I want to fetch the data from the government portal, and as I mentioned, this notice management all work with the username and password. So I'll log in with the username and password and choose the option as download notices. And I can choose like n number of GSTNs here, like whatever count of GSTNs you have in your GSTZen account. I can choose all of them and click as start. So here, if it's already logged in for a particular GST number, it won't ask you to put the credentials again. But if you haven't logged in to the government portal through GSTZen, it will give you these options here itself, and you can provide the credentials for all the GST number in one go under one screen. So, and once you provide it, you can just click, like it will give you the notices. And if you want to check all the notices in one go, like for example, you are a CFO and you want to check all the notices for all the GST numbers for a particular entity, then you can check under this notice tracker, which is the tab given at the top of the screen. So again, it will give you a quick summary like this notice is for particular GST number. This is the notice ID. What is like, where is it issued? It is a kind of a order or a notice or an intimation, date of issuance, due date. Of course, you can click on the download tab to download the notice. If not, you can click on this notice number or notice ID, and it will give you again the same details and same options like download PDF, summarization, generate reply. And if you want to save any of your working for the further reference for this particular notice, then we have this attachment tab at the bottom where you can keep all your files or your reference documents saved for the further reference. So with this simple steps, you can do your notice. You can track your notices. You can reply to the notice to those particular notices at the before like due date. So that's all. That's how we facilitate this notice management in GSTZen. Over to you, Venu sir.
Thank you, Manisha. All right, so it was pretty quick and fast, wherein she had walked us through all the notices. But what's more important is like you will be knowing about your notice. And Manisha, can you just go back and share the screen and show where they can attach the documents once? So you are well aware.
At the top.
Screen is not visible yet.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. So now whatever be the okay, basically this is a registration related amendment which has been made and the department has rejected it. What you are seeing on the screen. On the left bottom, you have this attach button. You can attach the documents, we call it as RUD, relied upon documents. For this application, could be the new rental agreement or whatever, the electricity, whatever which has been submitted as your working papers. Why am I saying this? In my session, I have specifically mentioned the adjudication is a journey. Appeal is first beginning of questioning the adjudication order. It is continuation of the adjudication process. 107, you don't get a relief. You're going to 112, High Court, 117, 118. Different sections you are jumping. But it continued from the original thing. Where are the relied upon documents? ADT01 is your first document they have asked so-and-so date. You have submitted all the information. The audit paras have come, ADT02 has come. After that, you will get DRC01. You gave a reply to DRC01. You have DRC07. So all these needs to be documented at one place because these will again translate to APL01. Now, the words which I'm saying for the first time, people hearing might be confusing, but once you file one appeal, you will get used to all these numbers, names. The important point is capturing this information at one place. The beauty of GSTZen is against any process that you do, including filing GSTR 13B, what is your relied upon document basis which you have done, you will be attaching it here. So the people who are part of this litigation journey, because if you have noticed your orders that you are dealing or your appeal that you are filing, you are not filing an appeal for 24-25. We are here in May 25. We are not filing an appeal for 24-25. We are filing an appeal for 18-19, 19-20, for many 17-18. We are talking about 7 years back history. How will you know what happened then? That's where tools like GSTZen will come to your rescue of correlating what has happened, what you have done, what you are supposed to do. That is the advantage of using the tools. And thank you, Manisha, for bringing this up. All right. Let's look at some of the questions that we have. There are questions on the chat. Let me. Yeah, there are questions that have come. Let me pick the questions that we have. Sri Hari Rao said, need to discuss with you about section 161. Section 161 is about rectification of an order. Rectification of an order. Why do one has to rectify? An order is wrong. How do you don't want to go to officer. What is that you will do? You will tell the officer saying that, see, apparent on record, this is wrong. Or I have submitted this reply was not considered. My ITC was denied under 17 subsection 5, say clause B, clause C or clause D. But I myself am a works contractor. I am buying and construction equipment and doing construction activity. So something which is apparent on record, the authority who has passed that order can rectify. And it is not for my review and re-adjudicate, but they have omitted the submissions. It is like that they have asked me to give it in writing. I have given everything. That itself has not been considered. Or 2A versus 3B, an order has been passed. The value of 2A is X, but what is considered here is different. So anything apparent on record, if there is an error, that would be rectified. Rectification can be done suo motu by the officers themselves, or on a request of the made by the officer under CGST or the person who is affected. Generally, within 3 months, we have to make a request, and within 6 months from the date of issue, the rectification has to happen. Hope this clarifies the points, Mr. Srihari. Girish is asking, is the filing started for ITAT appeal? ITAT is there. I think you're talking about GSTAT. GSTAT website has been notified. Very soon that would be operational. Time limit for 24-25 appeal submission. See, the appeal time limit is not qua year. It is qua from the date on which you received the demand order. Within 3 months from the demand order, you should file the appeal. After filing an appeal, within how many days we need to file hard copy of appeal documents to the department? Is it mandatory? Earlier, the circular said is mandatory. Now it is not required, but as a procedure, we've been having the habit of submitting the hard copy. Even if it is not submitted during the hearing, the appeal authority is going to ask a paper book. So always prefer to have it. The concerned CTO issued adjudication order to pay a huge amount of GST, but in the order we have noticed the officer done clerical errors. Sri Hari Rao 161 is going to apply it for you. Brief on advance ruling and writ petition. Advance ruling is dealt under section 97, where you seek a clarity on certain aspects. This is contradicting or different completely from section 60, provisional assessment, where you have a doubt on classification or valuation. You're going to the proper officer saying that, hey, owing to this contract, I cannot finalize the value. I am provisionally making an assessment. So ASMT 1 up until ASMT 9. While ARA 01, advance ruling application 01, is an ruling that you are seeking under section 97, where you have certain doubt on various things, including should I register or not? Is this transaction which I am doing, is it a supply or not? Is it exempt or taxable? Is this notification applicable to me or not? Except place of supply will be asking all the questions, right? So that's on the advance ruling. What about a writ? Now, writ petitions goes to the High Court. Since in the absence of the tribunals, if the principles of natural justice is completely violated or fundamental rights provided by the Constitution is being hindered to. Your business is being shut. Department is invoking Section 79 and going ahead and recovery without the appeal time is lapsed, or it is using power under 83 and making attachments. They have stopped the refund and your working capital is blocked and your business is dependent on that. Like Article 19, your conducting business itself is stopped. Then you will be going to writ, right? So hope Rahul, you got a clarity between writ and the advance rules. How is the status of GST appeal tracked after submission? How Manisha has shown, we will be, once the tribunal is launched, we will be integrating with the tribunal portal and also show everything to you. Mere duplication of earlier order passed on the same issues can be appealed under Section 161. No, it cannot be. 161 is not a fresh hearing. We have received ASMT 10. We have replied to that department, but acceptance letter is not received. Is this okay? Generally, ASMT 12 has to be issued. No one is having that process. That's okay. APL 01 has a filing time limit expired. SSC missed it. What should be done next? See, it cannot be condoned. Now, it has to be tested. Why was it missed? If something can be countered, we can take a chance. Can we file second adjournment for a personal hearing issued for an appeal? 3 adjournments you can definitely file. Shall the appeal in the High Court can be filed by the chartered accountant? No. A chartered accountant can go only up to the tribunal. To the High Court, it has to be by someone who is representing bar counsel. So it's just that someone who has a law degree doesn't sufficient. It's to be an advocate on record. Yeah. Well, these are the various questions that we have come. We have answered all the questions, and thank you so much for joining the session. Yeah, these are our prestigious customers who are using the application. Yeah, and if you have any clarifications, doubt, feel free to reach to us. If you have domain related, GST related queries, you can reach to me, venu@vnv.ca. But on GSTZen, having a peaceful GST compliance, you can reach to the support number 7406441122, or you can write an email to support@gstzen.in. We have a GST updates where we regularly update about GST happenings that are happening across India to our members. Here is the QR code you can scan and join our WhatsApp group, and we'll be happy to share the GST knowledge with you all. At the end of the session, you will get a feedback link and a copy of the presentation. Do let us know how was the session for you and what are the upcoming sessions that you are looking for. On this note, we have come to end of session. Thank you very much and have a great day.